did you first hook up with Tupac?
That was 6 years ago. That was in 90, was it 1? Was it 92? My dates may be a little shaky because I don't, I'm not really good with dates. I'm just trying to do the music. That's my walking Rolodex over there and calendar. But yeah, man, it went down in 92.
How did that come about?
That happened through my homie Big Syke. I was working on Big Syke's album, which was called Evil Mind, which was an underground album that he was doing at the time. And he's part of the group Thug Life. And he told me, he came to me and said, Jay, man, Pac want to meet you. Tupac want to hook up. I'm like, Tupac, are you serious? And he was doing his Poetic Justice movie at the time. I think he was just completing it or whatever. And Syke was like, homie, heard the beats you did on my stuff. He want to get with you. Man, he shot me right to the studio. I had no car, picked me up with my drum machine, let's roll. And I went down there and it worked.
When we talk about the golden era of West Coast hip-hop, we talk about the icons, the multi-platinum albums, and the voices that shaped a generation. But behind the biggest records ever made, there were architects men who sat in dark studios for days on end, building the soundscapes that define a culture. One name stands above almost all of them when it comes to the legacy of Tupac Shakur, Johnny J.
Get there about an hour or two earlier or whatever, and I'll just, have the track ready. He walks in, here's the beat. Give me a pen and pad, give me a pencil.
He crafted the beats for All Eyez on Me, shaped the sound of West Coast rap, and recorded over 100 tracks with Tupac Shakur.
This is Me Against the World right here, which sold over 2 million copies. A song that was on there, man, was Death Around the Corner. He predicted his own death, man. This is All Eyez on Me, which is like definitely a huge, huge classic album. You know what I mean? That's a big one. This is the cut How Do You Want It that I did, you know what I'm saying? Which is a big one, a huge, huge record. Thug Life, this is where we all started though. Me, Tupac, Syke, Mo Preem, everybody, Rated R, everybody, man. We were doing our thing. This is like when I first met him. Thug Life. I was the music man, Pac was the lyric man.
But his story didn't end with diamond plaques. It ended inside a Los Angeles jail cell under dark, heavily disputed circumstances. Today, we look at the rise, the brutal legal warfare with Death Row Records, and why so many close to him refuse to believe the official story.
He had a terrible fall. Like, what? Yeah.
That is such BS. At the time, he was not even in there for very long. So he shouldn't have gotten hurt. He was doing a short stint. He was scheduled to be out, I believe at the time he had about 2 more weeks. So, he should have been able to come out of there. I guess what the reason is that is officially on record is that he did it to himself.
Johnny Lee Jackson Jr. wasn't just a producer, he was a machine. Born in Ciudad Juarez and raised in South LA, Johnny broke into the game early. But his life changed forever in 1993 when rapper Big Syke introduced him to a volatile, hyper-focused Tupac Shakur.
Thug Life, Outlaw.
And tell us what your relationship with Pac was like.
I was my dog, man. Took me around the world, introduced me to everybody. Like he said, I was his closest road dog at the time, man. So it was a beautiful thing.
What was the first time you met him? What was that like?
Well, the first time I met him, it was at Echo Sound. I was doing a session. He came up there with Mo in his truck, and at that time he was just, he had just got a deal, whatever. I was doing my thing, and I just met him, listened to some stuff he was doing. It was cool, and that was it. Then one day he popped up in my neighborhood with one of my homeboys named Serge Mack, and at the time Serge's cousin Watani was his manager. So me and him kind of hit it off. I was, doing my thing, and we just hit it off, man. I was doing an independent album called The Evil Mind Gangsters, and he felt my homeboy mental illness. I don't know if a lot of people remember him talking about mental illness. Mental illness was a rapper. Y'all be hearing a little something about him, but he just took me up under his wing, man. The next thing I know, I was on the plane and in the studio, and next thing I know, he said he wanted to start this Thug Life thing, and I was like, yeah, I'm with that. And we was in the studio. We did the first Thug Life song. It was called Thug Life, and everything else was just like a dream. Still living it right now.
The chemistry was instantaneous. While other producers took days to build a track, Johnny J could cook up a beat on the spot, while Tupac stood in the booth writing lyrics.
The record that came out that Tupac did, I did high and drunk in the studio while they was making the beat, like laying the beat down, And that's why I be sounding hella sloppy, you know what I'm saying? But that song, it'd be like, fuck it, I feel as though, niggas drunk and high when they listening to it.
He produced Pour Out a Little Liquor, Tracks for Me Against the World, and ultimately served as the primary architect behind All Eyez on Me, delivering timeless anthems like How Do You Want It and All About You.
We were LA and Babyface all the way.
He was Tupac's favorite producer for a reason. They were brothers in the studio.
Okay, play that for me. Play it back for me just one time. Now,
But outside of it, a predatory industry was waiting. Selling tens of millions of records didn't protect Johnny from the dark side of the music business. Like many artists and producers tied to the turbulent era of Death Row Records, Johnny found himself locked in severe, long-running legal and financial warfare over unpaid royalties and stolen publishing rights.
In the studio every day. Let's see, Pac came home October the 12th. I'm sure about the 13th or the 14th, Johnny Day around every day. Walking in with boatloads of equipment, his own shit. Johnny J was there, brought in mainly as the beat maker. There's something so Pac could just do beats. This the rap, he was Pac's guy. Like his personal dude. Where, you know, just to keep up with Pac and put stuff down. Most of that stuff that Johnny J did that came out later wasn't intended to be on no particular beats. Because they were always samples. Y'all know anything about the music business, you can lose all the money you make by using these samples. Over 85% of the songs Johnny J did for Pac got a sample in them. Well, that's most of them motherfuckers, to be honest. But over 85% had samples in them.
For years, he fought in and out of courts to secure proper compensation for the historic work he did with Tupac Shakur. The battles were bitter, high stakes, and deeply draining. Then came June 2008, after a dinner in Hollywood, where he famously left glasses of wine on a table as a tribute to Tupac Shakur. Johnny was pulled over and arrested for a third DUI. Which was a felony under California law. Facing prison time, he took a plea deal and was sent to the Twin Towers Correctional Facility in Los Angeles. He was just 2 months away from his release. He would never make it out alive. On October 3rd, 2008, the music world received shocking news. Johnny J was dead at 39 years old.
There have been some rumors about Johnny J's death, so I wanted to ask you, how do you personally feel about Johnny J's death?
That's another one that I can't believe. It's just really weird what happened. I haven't really talked to his wife in depth about that because I haven't seen her. I've been out here back east. We just communicate via phone. But I guess one day, maybe I'll sit down and talk with her about it. But it just seems odd because if you know Johnny J, he's not the type that would take his life. I don't know what he was going through at that time. I don't know. I have to talk to her about that. Which, you know, that's not something that's urgent to me. It's just sad that he's gone. And I just know that, you know, Johnny J, a lot of people were kind of upset with him because, you know, he did fight for what he earned and what he deserved and for all his hard work, and he was rewarded. And some people didn't like that, you know. And I think, you know, I don't know if that could have been an issue when he went in jail, you know. Maybe some people knew. I don't know. I just think it was weird how that happened. But I don't know the, you know, specifics to what happened. So I can't really say, but I think that's another. That one is really, really sad because Johnny J was so full of life and he was so funny and so fun and loved his wife and his kids and he loved life. He loved music. He was so proud of, you know, what he accomplished. He loved Tupac. That was horrible. You know, he took that really hard. And it's just amazing that those two are dead, you know, and even Dave Aaron, the engineer that was with us, he passed away recently. Young, you know, it's like, it's kind of unreal. But Johnny J was the one that was another one that really hurt me because I was closer to him than I was to Pac. And it was a shocker. I feel bad for his wife and his kids, you know.
Do you think there was any foul play involved in Johnny J's death?
It seems like it, but I don't know because, look, when you go in jail, anything can happen. I don't know. I can't get that straight. I would have to get more information. I got to get more information on that. I got to get in. I probably wouldn't be able to tell because, you know, I know these are things like I know his wife is going to tell her story. So sometimes, you know, I don't like to invade in that space because I don't have an authority on that. I wasn't around for that situation. But, you know, I can say personally, I felt when I heard about it, I felt it was foul play because I knew the history and what was going on, you know, what he had fought for, you know, and I was like, wow, I wonder if it was foul play because it's easy, you know. The people that were upset at him had people in jail, you know, and it could have happened.
According to the official coroner's report, Johnny climbed a metal railing on the second tier of the jail facility and fell 14 feet, dying from severe blunt force trauma. The death was immediately ruled a suicide.
I don't know, man. This doesn't sound right to me. You know, just like Johnny J's, they say he committed suicide. He did not commit suicide. I think you were talking to somebody in one of your interviews about that, right?
Yes, I talked to his engineer, Jared Scott, who
I
told
just
me
listened
he
to
was
that last
screaming.
night. I listened to it last night, and I talked to Jared because we were working with Death Row, and he was just, there's no way. And there was no way. He did not commit suicide. I can't get into what happened, but he did not commit suicide, and it's a sad subject, but it just had to do with some misunderstandings. And, you know, once in the gang, always in the gang. You got to remember that. That's the way it is out on the streets. I used to be in the gang. That shit don't work on the streets.
Backed by claims that he had made a distress phone call from inside the facility. Yet, from day one, childhood friends, early managers, and hip-hop peers completely rejected the official narrative. Why? Because Johnny J knew too much about the inner workings of an era wrapped in controversy, multi-million-dollar unpaid debts, and dangerous industry politics. To those who knew him best, a man just weeks away from freedom, who had survived years of intense legal warfare, didn't just break and end his own life. With the dark history surrounding Los Angeles, county jail politics, and the lingering shadows of the death row era, the streets have never bought the official story. Whether viewed as a tragic casualty of a toxic music business that chewed up its legends, or a victim of circumstances that the official record refuses to fully explain, Johnny J's impact on hip-hop is undeniable. He helped construct the soundtrack of a golden era, but his own story remains one of the industry's darkest unsolved riddles. Make sure to hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments below, and subscribe for more untold stories in hip-hop history. We'll see you on the next breakdown.
We all gotta eat, so I'm not out there to give beats away for free. No, definitely not. I mean, Pac didn't do fucking guest vocals for free. Yeah, exactly. When he was living, so no one can look at me and knock me or charge me what I need to charge to make my money. Sure, I understand completely. You know, I love the game. I love the music. The music comes from my heart, man. But I still gotta eat, man. I have what you call a family.